The lights. Oh. Hi. Were you talking to me?
What are you talking about?
Oh, when you said same to you?
Yeah.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
What was that about?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
I thought 2 seconds. I'm so sorry. I thought 2 seconds ago.
You said GFY, and I said same to you.
I said that? Yeah, how do you? I wasn't talking to you. How do you know I was talking to you?
I thought you were, because I've heard you say it like 100 times.
I say it a lot. I say it to a lot of people, but nobody who.
You're not directing it at me?
No, I don't know why you would assume I was talking to you.
Because you always say it right in front of my window. And the woman upstairs has said the same thing about you.
I've said go fuck yourself in front of your window?
Many, many, many times, and you know you have.
No, I usually say, but I don't enunciate. I don't enunciate the whole words. I use gibberish on the property. No, I don't.
Well, if you're not directing it at me, that's fine.
Then it could be, and it could be somebody running around in this little area.
You know, it's your voice. I've heard you. I've seen you. I've seen you out on the street there that one time. You said it to me and my girlfriend.
No, I didn't. I'm positive. I never. I directly said the words "Go fuck yourself" to you.
Yeah, right.
I always indirectly speak to people. I don't look at people. I don't.
So you're talking on the phone then?
No.
What about just now? Who were you talking to?
There are lots of people beyond you. You were in your car. Yeah, there's no way in the world you knew I was talking, or would even think I was talking to you unless you did something that would make you believe I was talking to you. I was directing my voice into the air. I don't ever speak directly to people, ever. Okay. I never looked at you and your wife. I never said the words "go fuck yourself" on the property. I make sure I don't enunciate all the words.
Yes, you
so if it sounds like
many times you have your lying.
If you know what I'm trying to say, then you can understand the gibberish, but I don't make the words clear.
All right.
I never do.
Personal.
If you do, catch me. If you know I keep doing this, catch me doing it and prove me wrong. But I promise you won't ever catch that happening because I never say the words clearly.
I'm standing right here. You do it when I'm just out of eye shot as you're walking past. You've done it hundreds of times.
Well, okay, catch me one time. Yeah. Catch me. I promise you. If you do, I'll pay you $1,000. But it's never gonna happen. So that neighbor is a liar. So the dude just told me lies that he's gonna tell the landlord or tell the supervisor or tell the people who run the property, right? That I said or did something to him. But I make sure not to use the words "go fuck yourself" on the property. So that's how I know he's lying. So he's trying to, because I'm not or liar, just a plain and simple liar. He said he's caught me doing this over 100 times, right? He just said this guy has done this 100 times to me and my wife, or I've caught him on the property doing it. And this dude's never, ever said anything. He's lying because he just tried to cause an altercation. So I was standing right here. I was about to fix my car. And I did say those words, but the dude was in his car over there, coming through the driveway in his car. I did say the words, but he has no idea. He has absolutely no idea I was talking to him. He overheard those words, and that's why he got out of his car, walked around his car, and said, "Same to you," while I was sitting here about to fix my car. So he decided to interact with me. I have never in my entire life interacted with this man. This dude is a liar. He just lied. And he just added someone to help his lie. So to support your lie, you find a co-conspirator. You find an extra liar in the community. So he said the woman who lives upstairs has heard me say go fuck yourself on the property, well then it's somebody else imitating me. Because or somebody who's building a story that you are saying these things on the property. And if this is true, it is not hard to catch somebody who keeps doing the same thing over and over again. How come none of these people who keep saying these things has never caught this person in the act? If they know he's going to say it, do whatever, do what he says to get him to have this reaction, or to get him to say, or catch him doing it. All you have to do is tell your friend, hey, I see him, he's over there. I'm going to pull up, I'm going to walk past him. I want you to be recording me as I walk past him. Hey, can you do that for me? I want you to stand over there, act like you're normal. I'm going to walk past this dude, and I want, every time I see him, I'm going to do it. And one of these times, he's going to tell me to go fuck myself. Or he's going to yell gibberish. So that neighbor just lied. He just lied and told lots of people I said the words go fuck yourself to him over 100 times. And the upstairs neighbor has heard it too. That is a flat out lie. So he's something on YouTube he's learned about me. It may not be hard to know who the guy who wears earmuffs is all the time, or the guy wearing the cardboard glasses everywhere he goes, who that person is. That dude knows exactly who I am. And he probably knows that around town I've told people in the gay community to go fuck yourselves for flashing their lights at me. And that's what this dude is trying to build a lie on top of. He's saying that he's been the victim of that over 100 times. So he must have been doing something over 100 times to get me to say that to him. But I have never targeted anyone. So that guy is a flat out lie. He's a liar, and he just tried to start an altercation with me right here. So this whole video, this entire video, has been about the dude who got out of his car to try to start an altercation with his neighbor. So, and instead of taking it to the proper management or the proper authorities, he decided to take it out on his neighbor himself. But that's I know better than that. I know not to whatever hostilities I have with my neighbor. If it's really bad, you tell the management. You don't approach your neighbor. You don't address your neighbor. You don't have an issue with your neighbor. You tell the management. You tell the manager that my neighbor just walked past me and tried to start an altercation. He said the words, same to you. And that's a known way to start an argument or an altercation. It doesn't matter what happened prior. If there was an issue, you were supposed to go to management. You weren't supposed to take it on yourself to start an altercation with your neighbor. So I only went up to him to ask him, hey, were you talking to me? And that was it. And he decided to lie. So you know you did something bad, so you start pointing out lies. You figure out who this person is, and whatever bad things they do, start lying about it. Start telling everybody that he did those things to you, so that now he looks like you become a victim. You instantly become a victim, and it's probably not true. It's not true. This guy has never done anything to you. He's never said or did anything to you. He doesn't talk to you. He doesn't interact with you. He doesn't even care about you. He doesn't even think about you. He ignores you as much as he possibly can. I believe that's been the way it's been here for about 2 years or a year. He's been here a year. I've been here 3 years. The guy is lying. He just lied. He just lied to my face and told me I've said the words, go fuck yourself, outside on the property, which I never do. I always respect the neighbors, and I mumble the words, go fuck yourself. Or I make it so it's not understandable. Like, you can't understand what I said. So unless you know who I was, what I mumbled doesn't really make any sense to you. So if you know that I've said go fuck yourself somewhere else, then you would know what I mumble. There's a good chance you could put the mumbling words I mentioned with the statement together. So the guy lied. He basically told me he knew who I was, and that he basically told everybody he knew who I was. And what else happened? And he lied and said I did something off the property on the property. So it's like the UPS store situation. This guy also knows what happened at the UPS store. So he's probably smart. Someone in my ears just told me it's the UPS store situation where you did something off the property, but people are going to lie and say you did it on the property to get you kicked out of the apartments. So this guy knows exactly who I am, and he's going to lie and say he has no idea who I am, but he does know I say the words "go fuck yourself," which is something I do off the property, not on the property. And definitely not directed towards a neighbor, which would definitely cause an altercation or get you kicked out of the apartments. So this dude is going to lie and say I said or did things I didn't say to get me kicked, or he doesn't like me. I refuse to have sex with gay people, and he's probably one of the many people in the community who feels that we can attack this person, we can get rid of this person. I don't like him at all. I don't like anything about him. He's not socializing with us. We should get rid of him by any means. Hurt his feelings, hurt his establishment, go after him because he is antagonizing us. But that's not true. I don't want to have sex with these people, and I don't want to socialize with my neighbors. And that's been upsetting them. However, but it's well hitting. It's well hitting. So it doesn't have to be him. It could be somebody else in the gay community I socialize with. He refuses, but he's acting on behalf of those people. So I can't believe this neighbor just came out and told those lies. He just told me several lies. I asked him who was he talking to. He said, "Oh no," he got out of his car and said, "Same to you," or "Same to you," like a really aggressive, deep-throated, altercating type thing. He should tell the management, but he absolutely should tell management what this person said to him, or catch this person saying these things to you. If he's done it several times, catch him in the act. Catch him in the act. The truth is, he's lying. And that's why he's never caught me saying the words, "go fuck yourself," to him or his wife or anybody else. They lie. 100 times, when I seen that man the very next time, if I ever saw him, I would put a recording device on my body before I approached him. And I would tell everybody, or I would catch him saying those words to me. But the man chose to lie. He's a liar. And he's trying to scare me into thinking you're going to get kicked out of your apartment. I could lie on you and say you did something you didn't do. So I knocked on his door very nicely because I wanted to know if he was talking to me in such a deep voice or somebody else. He could have been talking to anybody. He didn't look at me. He didn't say it directly to me. He could have been talking to anybody. And if he was, I wanted to know why he was. Well, I wanted to. I don't know. I didn't get that far. I only got as far as asking if you were talking to me. I didn't get any further than that. And he brought up the things I do outside the property as an excuse to say I was talking to him. So instead of listening to what I had to say or asking if I was talking to him, he assumed and he directed his anger that I was talking to him, which I never do because you can get in trouble. So I don't say things directly to people. I avoid that. So what he did was he lied about what do you do? What do you call that? You lie about you take what people do somewhere else and say they did it on the property. And that's what happened at the UPS store. So the owner of the UPS store said I did something on his property while I was at work, and that got me fired from work. So this dude is trying to lie and say I did something on the apartment property, and he's trying to get me kicked off the property. So that dude's a piece of crap. He's a piece of crap, and he's trying to lie. Someone just told me in my ears, they're going to say, I have no idea what happened at the UPS store. It doesn't matter. What you're trying to do is exactly what happened at the UPS store. It's exactly what happened. These people lied and said I did something on their property that I didn't do. And I have the video to prove I wasn't on the UPS store property when it happened, but it didn't matter. The owner decided to kick me off the property regardless. So this guy is trying to do it here. He is trying to do the exact same thing here. But like I said, I've been here for 3 years and I don't interact with my neighbors. I don't want to. The only neighbors I see on this property are members of the gay community. And they show me their hairstyles of gay people. They bend over, they point their butts at me, they lie, they do things inappropriately. Inappropriate things at all times. And those are the only neighbors on this entire property I see. I know there's a over here on the other side of this building. On the other side of this building, there is a transgender dude. He keeps showing up every single time I'm about to leave to go to work, or several times. He'll show up and he'll show himself to me. He'll be a man dressed like a woman, with woman's clothes, with breasts, and that person lives over there. And then who else do I see? The neighbor next to this car in that van, she took my parking spot. I always parked there for like 2 years. She took my spot. She has gay community tags or like labels on her car, or her old car. She had gay community stuff. Her boyfriend is like a little short gay dude. He does like homosexual things. Well, like whenever I see them, they'll do something facial or something like that. Some facial feature motion, something. And then she has hair color. I think she had hair colors like the gay community. So the only neighbor, basically my point is I can't tell you all of them. I don't remember every single person that I've ever seen on the property, but the only neighbors I've ever seen or ever interacted with me were neighbors in the gay community. And I avoid them. I tell on them if things get really bad. I call the management, and I've reported to the management about the things my neighbors have done. But I don't approach them. I don't talk to them. I don't say anything to them. This is the first neighbor who decided to speak to me. This is the first time in 3 years that I've lived here that a neighbor has spoken to me. I'm sorry. While I was fixing my car, I'm so sorry. Last year, I was fixing my car, and a neighbor came up to me, and he asked me, "Are you dead? I thought you were dead, so I came over here to check on you." I was putting the heater core in my car, and one of my neighbors walked up to me and asked me if I was dead. He was a really tall, really fat guy with a large waist, really chubby, fat guy. And he walked up to me and he said, "Are you dead?" And I just stared at him, and he said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you were dead. That's why I came over here." And I thought that was inappropriate. I didn't say anything to him. I think I said, "No, I'm fine." But I got the hint. There was like why would you think I was dead? So he had me thinking about me being dead. That's what my thoughts were. Why would this person want me to think about being dead? And that's what he came over there to do, to get me to think about being dead. It's a harassment. It's a really intelligent way to tell somebody, I want you to think about being dead, by asking that person, "Are you dead?" So if a person's being harassed in the community, or says he's being harassed in the community, and after years of that harassment, people around who do the harassment would think, why aren't they dead? Why haven't they committed suicide? If what he says is true, somebody would start to think, why isn't he dead yet from all the harassment? So he took an opportunity where he thought somebody under a car, or in there, somebody laying down. So I was laying down right here, like laying right here, reaching down there to put the heater core in, and the neighbor walked up to me. He walked up to me and asked me if I was dead. He said, "Are you dead?" I didn't say anything. He said, "Oh man, I thought you were dead." And that's not a normal way to greet a neighbor. You see me moving, you see me doing things down there. You know I'm not dead. Why are you asking me if I'm dead? And then this neighbor in this apartment just decided to lie and say I started. It's harassment. When people lie on you, you feel weak because, well, not weak, but you feel like trying to prove they're liars, right? You feel like doing anything you can to prove that your neighbor is lying. So that's what this guy just did. He just told several lies in 3 seconds. So it's like somebody had these lies prepared. I want you to say he told you to go fuck yourself. I want you to say he told your wife to go fuck yourself. I want you to say he told the neighbor upstairs to go fuck yourself. Now it looks like he's a neighborhood terrorist, right? He looks like a neighborhood terrorist. And it took 2 seconds to turn somebody into a regular neighbor into a neighborhood terrorist. And before you can take you can't take the same 2 seconds and explain yourself. You can't take the same 2 seconds and tell the truth. That takes 5 or 10 seconds. You have to not only logically prove what he just said in 2 seconds was a lie, you have to then say the truth. And that takes another 5 seconds. So now there's 10 seconds you had to take to prove you aren't who they say, and this is who you are. But people won't wait 10 seconds for you to tell the truth. But they'll take the 2 seconds somebody took to lie 3 times about your character to judge who you are. And I told this guy the truth. If this person is harassing you, I would start recording this man whenever I saw him. Whenever I seen this dude, I'd pick my phone up and quietly put it in my pocket and start recording this dude wherever I went. But they won't do that because they would never catch me telling one of them to go fuck themselves on this property. Not on this property. It won't happen. And if they do hear me yelling, I never yell out the words, go fuck yourself, around this is a quiet neighborhood. No, it would disturb the neighbors. So screaming the words, go fuck yourself, would disturb the neighbors. So I don't do it. And that guy just lied about my character to turn me into an unfriendly neighbor. So to turn what I accuse my neighbors of, the things I accuse my neighbors of, onto me. So to make me be the bad neighbor with lies. So a large group of gay people are probably going to work together to create a false history and then to present that false history to a manager of a property to get somebody evicted. And then they go home and they celebrate. They secretly, quietly have a celebration about the lies they just told to get somebody in trouble. And it's a celebration for those people. But I'm not stupid. I know there's rules on these properties. You can't disturb the neighbors or they will tell the manager and you will get in trouble. So I don't do it. But if I walk outside on the sidewalk, if I walk on the anywhere off of this property, I feel free. I feel completely free to say whatever I want. That's exactly what I do. Exactly. So if you ever heard the words go fuck yourself clearly coming out of my mouth, then it was off the property. It was somewhere off of this property. And that's what I told him. I told him I didn't say that, but I told you guys that. I know he knows who I am from the community. I know he knows exactly who I am off the property. And he decided to lie about who I was who I am on the property because he knows my history off the property. So you can use the lies of character, the truth about somebody somewhere else, and bring it back home with you, right? Bring that, change the circumstances. So you know he says this here, lie and say he said it here, and people will believe it because they know he says those words somewhere else. So your neighbors can lie about you. Well, tell lies about something that happened nearby. And I think that happens across the country. Neighbors lie. They will just lie because there's no one to catch them. There's nothing anybody can do to these people. And if they work together, they're going to get you in trouble before anyone catches them lying. Before they get caught lying, you're going to get in trouble. And more likely than not, the business is going to side with the majority because they want to keep business running. They want to keep their business running. And the only way to do that, the only way to keep your business running is to keep the majority of people satisfied. So now I have to worry about this guy telling my manager that I've said the words "go fuck yourself" on the property. I never have. That is a flat out lie. And somebody in my ears just told me, when you do tell your manager that, she is going to say, I've had numerous reports that you have said the words "go fuck yourself." And I'll have to tell her that is not true. That has never been true. I've never said those words on the property. And so these people are working together to try to get me evicted because they know my behavior in the community. And they're using that behavior from the community to legitimize an eviction. If they think the behavior is unacceptable in the community, they think he shouldn't have a home to go to. So these people are doing things outside the law, outside of logic. They're operating illogically. They think your behavior in the community determines whether or not you have a home. And they're lying about what I do on the property to get me evicted. I mutter. I don't ever say the words "go fuck yourself" to anybody on the property. I never speak directly to anybody on the property. And this neighbor that lives here, just decided to lie. I think he was mad. The neighbor, somebody told me in my ears, the neighbor was mad that your car isn't parked over there. Your car is parked right here. He's mad that you're going to fix your car right here. He hates it. He hates coming home and seeing your car parked somewhere else. He has like a someone just said that in my ears. He has a psychological issue seeing different things when he arrives home. So he doesn't want to see your car parked right here. He doesn't want that to happen. So what he chose to do was to give you that anger. He's tired of seeing something when he comes home, your car parked in a different spot when he comes home. It's usually parked over right next to those cars. So he just got mad that you decided to park your car right here. That's what he just chose. He chose to get mad that you parked your car right here. Right here. Right here. And it's only for temporary to fix my brakes. But the dude got mad that the car was parked right here. And he decided to take it out on me when he got out of his car, walked around the car, and said, "Same to you," in a way that you're trying to cause an altercation. So even if you heard me say those words, somehow you knew that while I was sitting in this seat and you were driving your car towards this car, that I had to be talking to you. Somehow you knew that I was talking to you. I don't know how. I have no idea how you heard me say those words, and two, that I was talking to you. I don't know. So what I do know is that you're lying. I never said those words to you, and you just made that up. Why did you make so? I never said those words to you, and someone used technology to stop me from following that thought, because they know if I can't follow that thought with reason, it looks like I'm a liar and I said those words to him. But he made that up. I know why he did it. I just spent 30 minutes talking about this. He's trying to get me in trouble using a behavior he's heard about from the community on the property. So even if he hears it or he hears something similar enough to it, he can claim that I said it to him, not in the air, not unintelligent, well, inaudible, but it's good enough. It's not audible. It wasn't directed towards him, but it was close enough that he knew what I more than likely said. And since he was the only one with car lights pointed at me, he assumed, or he's going to tell the managers I was talking about him. But he's a liar. That dude's a liar, and he hates something I do in the community, or his friends hate something about me in the community. And he's going to use lies to try to get me evicted. And I think it'll work. The manager that the lady who handles payments really doesn't like me. She hated the fact that I use loan payments. She absolutely hated that I used the free rental assistance. And every single month, she tried to evict me. Multiple times a month, she sent notices that if you don't pay in 3 days, you will be evicted. But everyone knows how the free rental assistance works. You don't get payments until they say, but they won't accept applications if there was no money to cover your rent. They will deny your application and tell you that there is no funds to cover your rent. But since the applications were being accepted, I knew they had funds left. But the woman who runs this property kept trying to evict me every single month, multiple times. So she would leave an eviction notice on my door. So I'd come home from work, I'd come home from work and there'd be an eviction notice on my door. And when I tried to explain this to her, she wasn't listening. I went down to the office. I tried to talk to her. She was using borderline basic racism that you hear about in the news, like Stonewall, like a Stonewall. I don't want to hear it. I don't believe in anything you say. I don't believe in that free rental assistance. I don't believe in you're going to pay your rent. I don't believe you have the funds to pay your rent, even if the free rental assistance doesn't pay your rent, which is stereotypical. She's stereotyping who you are. She said, because you came here in the first year you were here, you used free rental assistance to pay your rent. Don't you imagine that in the future he will continue to make payments? But she wasn't trying to listen. She was taking everything for as if she had no evidence. She was treating me as if she had no evidence I would pay rent in the future. And so she was trying to have me evicted every day. So I had to fight to keep this apartment because she was trying to evict me. And that's just harassment. Nobody here believes that people won't pay their rent. Nobody believes that this guy who got the apartment after paying rent downtown for 2 years in a row, and downtown apartment rent, is not going to pay his rent in the future. He's been in this apartment for a year. He's paid his rent every month by every means, like with free rental assistance or on his own for 3 years. So this guy has a track record for the last 3 years of paying his rent. On the day you're accusing him of not paying his rent, he has a track record of paying his rent for 3 years straight. You keep sending eviction notices on his doors to a guy who has paid his rent for 3 years straight. That doesn't make sense. You would treat somebody who's never paid rent, and I don't know. I have no idea when you start accusing people of not being able, or accusing people or treating people like they won't pay rent in the future. I don't know when you start doing that, but I do know you treat people who have paid their rent in the past like they will pay their rent in the future. You don't ever do the opposite. You don't do anything different. So I paid my rent for 3 years straight. I never had an issue paying my rent in the last 6 years. So I've gone 6 years and I paid my rent every single month. Every single month for 6 years straight, I've paid my rent wherever I've lived. And this woman had no right to mistreat me. But I think that's the problem with the community, with like people in the community who don't like you. They can take their positions and abuse you. They can abuse your privileges. And if nobody stops them, nobody interferes, or nobody says anything, people in the community can do bad things to you and get away with it. So the manager who owns this property may take this side of this guy. That's probably why he spoke the way he spoke to me. He knows that the woman who runs this property is in their community, supports the gay community. So if enough people lie, or at any given moment, they can make a decision to kick me out of the property for social reasons, because they feel like as a group of people, as a society, well, as a community, as a gay community, he won't hang out with us, he won't socialize with us. So let's do things to hurt him until he is willing to start socializing with us, to start having sex with us, or start being our friends, or be one of our friends, or be in a relationship with one of us. So as a group of people, like this dude right here just tried to do, he just tried to lie to me. He lied to me 3 times. Oh, someone just told me in my ears, he lied to you several times to see if you would get mad. See if you would get mad and do something violent to him because of what he said to you. Just like they just told me, he did the same thing right here. He wanted you to get violent and do something bad to him. So it wasn't, yes it was. That's exactly what this guy did. Now he's telling me he's working on argument. They're telling me right now in my ears that they're already preparing his defense. They're preparing the best defense possible for him. And then he just said, I'll just leave. I'll make a point by leaving and saying, I don't want to live here anymore because this dude is a terrorist, and I'm going to prove it by packing my stuff up and leaving. That's what they just said. So even if nobody believes his defense, even if nobody believes what he has to say, he will pack his stuff up and leave to make me look like the bad guy. And that's what people do too. So when they lose an argument, they'll do the last thing possible to make it look like they're telling the truth. They'll do something extreme, an extreme sign that they're being honest. What some people do is they pack their stuff up and they walk away like they know they're right. Or I don't know. I know people, if you watch this video and there's no technology in your body, you can clearly understand what I'm saying. You can clearly remember the circumstances I'm referring to. And what I'm telling you that this man just did is an example of, or would do in the future, if people didn't believe him, is an extreme act to change somebody's mind. Well, if they take things to the extreme, I believe him. I believe this is his circumstances. If he comes in here and he's angry and he's well spoken and he's very angry, then I believe him. But this is preparation. And you can train somebody. You can groom. Somebody just told me that in my left ears. So the next step, when you present your argument, you use anger and you're well spoken. And that's how you convince somebody to believe you're telling the truth, even when you're lying. So if you tell a lie with lots of anger and it's well spoken, you can convince somebody you're telling the truth. It's psychology. It's like a tactic. You scare that person, right? One, they're scared, right? And they hear you're angry. So you're angry at somebody. So now these people are afraid. When you yell, when you use anger, these people become afraid of you. And if they think what you say makes sense, they'll believe what you have to say. And now they're directing their attention towards you. Or they work together. So he presents the lie. This woman already has steps in place to take after you've. So he presents the lie. The woman has factual steps, like a system in place already to work, to move forward with the lies. So you take the lies and then you use the system you have in place to move forward and proceed with kicking somebody out of the neighborhood. All it takes is somebody to lie very well, and use the next person who supports the person who lied, who secretly or openly supports the person who lied, will follow through with the steps. All they needed was somebody to lie. That's all they needed. That's all they needed. Somebody has to tell the lie, and I can do the rest. And then the work is done. The only way I know that is because I've experienced people lying. So I've done things I'm supposed to do or acted normally, and then somebody has lied, and then somebody else has done something to support those lies. And that's how you learn the system, or you learn how how well people can do that. You experience what I just told you, and then it's over with. There's no recourse. No one's gonna stop the people in power from doing bad things to you. The people in power have the power. But you could tell the public that your neighbor just lied on you. There's a good chance your neighbor lied. There's an 80 to 85% chance your neighbor's lying. Because your self-interest is to have a home. This guy's self-interest is to maintain his home, and he's pretty well aware that it's inappropriate to yell the words "go fuck yourself" on his property. I think so. So I think that's how people can determine whether or not he's lying. And since the neighbor exaggerated 100 times, because on YouTube, I made a comment about saying 20 to 40 times a day on YouTube. So the guy is basically telling me everybody knows who you are in the comments you've posted on the internet. Every single body, I know, and he's throwing things I've posted on the internet or things I've done in the community into my face, and basically telling me I know who you are without telling you I know who you are. So he's saying things about your personal life and basically saying I know who you are. I know the things you say. I know the things you do. And that's what I just said to your face. So a couple of weeks ago, I posted a comment about 20 to 40 times a day I say the words "go fuck yourself." And this guy threw the number 100 out of the air because of the comment I just posted online. So, and then he says the words "go fuck yourself," which I've never said on the property, but I've said 20 to 40 times a day off the property. So the guy is basically telling me a YouTube comment I wrote. It's a YouTube comment, a YouTube blog. On my blog, I've said exactly what I just told you on my blog. And the guy just threw that comment into my face. So basically telling me I know who you are and I can lie about the things you did on this property to get what I want. And right now, I don't want your car parked right here. I don't want to see you working on your car on this property. That's how I feel. I came home. I just came home that way. I just came home. I drove through the driveway and I see this black car parked right here. I don't see anybody sitting right here. I don't see a black dude sitting right here. He can't see me. I'm sitting. The dude couldn't see me. So the cars are over there. I'm sitting right here, right? And I'm hunched down like this. So there is absolutely no way this dude can see me through my black car. If I'm down here working on this or about to work on this car, he didn't see me. He didn't know where the words, even if he heard an intelligent "go fuck yourself" coming out of my mouth. So the guy lied. The guy basically lied to my face because he was mad that this car was parked where it was parked on his way home. And some people get petty like that. Some people are incredibly petty. They come home and they get mad that I'm sorry. So I used to make videos about coming home and getting mad that somebody was parked in my spot. So this used to be my spot. And I made videos about getting mad that somebody was parked in my spot. And now this dude's getting mad about me parked here. So I guess it's relatable. Somebody's mad about where a car is parked. And that's the logic he used to get mad at me about parking my car right here and getting out of his car with an attitude and telling me, "Same to you." But he has absolutely no idea. He has absolutely no idea I was talking to him or what I said. He heard a voice. That is it. It was unintelligent. The voice was unintelligent. And there's unintelligent voice. There's nothing you could possibly hear coming out of my, besides a noise. You can't hear the words. So the guy lied because he knew there's what I could have said. Someone in my ears said, well, then how did he know you were here? He heard a voice. So a voice coming from the direction of this car was more than likely the guy. I can't see him. I can't see where he is, but I can hear a voice coming from the direction of this car. And that is how I know that dude's over there. And I could probably guess what he said. I can guess what he said. And that's exactly what he did. He guessed what I said. He guessed I was talking to him, which both of those things, well, the first one is hard to do. The second one is hard to do. How the hell did you know he was talking to you if you couldn't even see him from behind his car? How the hell would what did you do to get him to speak to you? So the dude heard a voice. He saw the car. He hated the car was here. He guessed that I was somewhere near this car. He guessed what I said. He came around the corner, got out of his car, and tried to cause an altercation with me. And he said, same to you. So this dude is a liar. And then he told several lies on top of that. He found somebody to help him lie. To help him tell lies. So he found somebody to help him tell lies about who I was. And somebody in my ear just told me they've been working on getting you evicted for a long time. But so my only thoughts, no, I have no control over that. My thoughts was I'll deal, whatever happens, happens. I can't control what other people do. I can't control when other people lie. I can only project who I am. Well, reason. I can only reason with people. I can only say there's a good chance I didn't do that. This dude is more than likely lying. So, and somebody just said, well, you shouldn't have said whatever you said. You shouldn't have said go fuck yourself or whatever the hell you said from behind this car. You shouldn't have said it. And then I told him, well, one, I didn't. And that's not a justification to, it doesn't matter. Somebody's saying that we've already worked this out. We've already worked a way to have you evicted out of these apartments because we know who you are in the community and we don't want you to live here. And it'll hurt your feelings to get you kicked out of the apartment, or you're not using the apartments the way you choose. And there are no cheaper apartments nearby. You have to move across town. You have to move away. We want to kick you out to hurt your feelings. That's what we want. You are hurting. You seem like you can't be hurt. You're acting like you can't be hurt by anybody. But having you evicted is a way to have you hurt. And somebody in my ear just said, well, you should shut up and never say anything to anybody. But it doesn't matter. If people know what you do outside in the community, they can lie about how you behave on the property you live on. They can lie and say he does it here too. I've heard it. My neighbors heard it. But nobody has a recording. He said it over 100 times. You see this guy all the time. I've seen this neighbor all the time. I see him when he comes home. I see him when he leaves. It's like he times it perfectly. When I walk out of my door, I see him so much, and he sees me as much as I see him. How come you don't have any recordings of this guy telling you to go fuck yourself? Why don't you get a dash cam? Get in your car, wait one day, watch him arrive, watch him. I don't know, man. There's got to be a way to catch this person. So the reason they don't try, or nobody in this entire city of Madison has ever caught me saying go fuck yourself, is because they don't want, it's not true. Well, they want it to be not true. They want to be able, at a drop of a hat, to say, he's never said those words to me. I've never heard those words being said, because someone is trying to control history. So if you get people to start acknowledging that this man is saying these words to them somewhere else, you can get people to, I don't know, what do you call that? If you keep people from saying things publicly about somebody, if you get people to stop saying things about other people in the public, if you get people to stop saying that, that girl is gay. If you get people to stop saying, when she walked around the corner, what the gay community likes to do is they like to go around corners, and if they know you're looking at them, they'll turn their head slightly to the right and go, and then look back. And then look back. They'll say the words and then keep walking. They'll turn their head slightly to the left. That's what gay people like. They like to let you know who they are very quickly, very quietly, because it's natural for people to look at other people really like for 2 or 3 seconds. We all do it. We all look at other people for like 2 or 3 seconds to see who they are. That's a normal human behavior. So when I was looking at her for 2 or 3 seconds, she looked back at me and turned her head to the right as she walked around the corner and mouthed the words as she walked past. So that's what my neighbor, she's gay. She's in the gay community. She just told me she sometimes wear her hair color is like the gay color. So, or someone just said she took a chance you were looking at her and said that. It turned her head to the right and said, but I know it's technology. You use technology implants to let someone else know that she's looking at you or you are looking at her, and to turn your head to the right really quickly like we've taught you and say the words and then look straight ahead. So I see that all the time, but that's irrelevant. So like I just told you, that neighbor just did that to me. If I wasn't recording, I'd probably say something like that. But I would never say the words, go fuck yourself, out loud on this property. So I know this neighbor is lying, and I know this woman upstairs, she's lying to support this neighbor to make it look like I'm a bad neighbor. I'm terrorizing my neighbors. Like I have no intentions of maintaining my apartment. So that's a scary thought. When people tell you lies that you can't stop from happening, or when they present the idea that you're lying, when people present lies to you that you can't control, it's like being incarcerated, false incarceration. And that's what I think he just did. He tried to remind me of a false incarceration as well. So this neighbor is incredibly intelligent, or there's technology in his body that he's using to say the right things to remind smart people of of insults or history. So if you're really smart and you want to reference history, you got to say the right things at the right time. So the neighbor spoke about lies. He told lies. And if you know who I am, I was falsely accused of rape, and those were lies were told. So 12 years ago, 13 years ago, during that time, I was learning how it feels to be lied on and have no control over the lies that were told to you. So this guy brought me back. So he's using multiple people to support the one lie he told to scare me or to make you feel powerless or to give you a walk back in history. This is a bad neighbor. This is a very bad neighbor. And I have several neighbors in the gay community who live on this property who are not good neighbors. They will do something inappropriate, say something inappropriate so quickly, you can't record them. But everybody knows who I am. All of these people know who I am. So if they see me, they could prepare for something I would say or do before I got there. So the reason there's no footage of this, there's no proof of this, is because I don't do these things. I don't harass other people. And that's how this neighbor lies. He lies by using the truth. So you can take the truth, place it somewhere else where it's inappropriate or where it's not acceptable, and turn it into a bad thing. So if somebody likes to, this is really intelligent. Somebody very, very intelligent came up with a way to tell the truth, use